Hey everybody, welcome back to the Green Room. I'm Heather Ludlow, and today I am joined by Brett Land.
Yep, I'm filling in for Amber, so you guys are stuck with me today.
Yes, she is our managing broker at our Heritage Lake office. So Amber is absent today, and so Brett is our fill-in. And so new face there, and we have a very special guest, Mr. Jerry Mortals.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining
Yeah,
us.
no problem. I'm enjoying being here.
Yeah. And so we're excited to talk to you. Jerry is a man of many hats.
I've had some hats.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Not only is he our landlord here at our Danville office, but he owns a lot of commercial businesses. Or
Buildings, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, handful.
Has been in the business for a long time.
32 years.
Yeah. And he also owns the Republican newspaper.
Yes, that one was an accident, but yes. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm here.
Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
You're a wealth
The
of
place
knowledge.
looks good here, by the way.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for the rent check. I appreciate it.
Well, of course, Amber.
And I'm just
Sure. So.
Okay.
So let's jump right in and kind of get to know you a little bit.
All right.
Can you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and how you?
Yes. I can give you, let me see, a quick digest version. I grew up in Dover, Delaware, and have family here in Indiana. I was born in Indiana, grew up in Delaware. Moved back here, 89, 90, something like that. Started, to give you the whole story real quick, moved back here. I used to fly stunt kites out in Delaware. It's a thing that it's controllable kites. There's competitions. You have fun. I was young, just having fun on the beach. And I move out here. I have some of these kites. These aren't cheap kites. I broke a piece, and I just like I would do in Delaware. I'd go to the phone book and look up a kite store. There's no kite stores in Indiana. I didn't know that. You know. At the time, I'm like, what? Where am I at?
Yeah.
Then I found the Hoosier Kite Flyer Society. It's a kite flying club that met once a month. They were meeting up Winchester, not New Winchester, Winchester, Indiana. I didn't know where it was. Got a map as before the, Google Maps.
Google Maps.
Drove up there, and believe it or not, I was shy as could be, and everybody was at one end of the parking lot with their like single line kites, and I'm like, here, let me back up just real quick. Couldn't find the kite part for my kite, right? So I call the kite company that's on my kite, and I say, hey, can you send me parts? There's no kite stores out here. And they go, well, what do you mean? I said, seriously, there's no kite stores out here. And he said, well, you think you could sell kites out there? I said, yeah, because but these are cool. Nobody's seeing these things, man. I think this would be great. And they're like, okay, well, if you order a minimum, I forget what it was, $2,000, $3,000 worth of kites, you get wholesale. You can be a wholesaler. And they said this is like magic to me. They said, okay, you order that much, we'll send them to you, and then, you just pay us within 30 days. I said, you're going to send me $3,000 worth of product. I don't pay you nothing for 30 days. They said, yeah, that's how it works. I said, send them. So I got them. I went up, had a handful of these nice, cool kites, and they're really loud, too, when the wind's going. So I saw everybody up there, and again, shy as could be. I wasn't comfortable talking to people. I go to the other end of the parking lot. I pull out one of these kites called a Hawaiian, a great big Hawaiian stunt kite, and it ripped up in the air, and it made this noise, and every head turned this way, and they're like, what in the heck? And the whole troop, they come down over my car, and they're like, what's this? I'm like, let's do this thing, and sold it all, sold everything that day. Everything sold out. I'm like, I can do this. I worked at Kmart at the time, which wasn't my favorite job. So I did blue light specials, yes. Kmart over on 38th and High School Road. I think it's a Home Depot or something now. But when I first moved back, that's where I worked. So then I got more kites and did that. And then winter came and I started playing darts because bars were a place I could meet people and, socialize a little bit. And I saw this dart thing going on. I saw people playing darts. And I'm like, oh, okay. I started playing darts. It would do blind draws. So I'm talking to the bar owner. I'm like, how's this work? Well, you do a blind draw, put money in, top three places, you partner up with another player, and then top three places pays out the entry money. I'm like, okay. I said, I can run those. So we started running blind draws out there, and I thought, darts. Where do you get darts? So I called up the Horizon Dart Company in St. Louis, Missouri, and I said, hey, I got a company called Fly Like the Wind here. I do kites, but this darts thing, again, you order this much, we'll give them to you. You pay them 30 days. I said, I like this. Send them to me. So I started selling darts and Fly Like the Wind. Then I ran into a real estate agent somewhere, sometime, probably in the bar, and was like, "What's that about? How's that work?" And I'm like, "I can do that."
Yeah.
Got my license in '92. Graves Realtors, not around anymore. Went independent in about '96. Specialize in land acquisition, land development things around here in Hendricks County, and then now I'm here.
Now you're here.
That's
It's cool.
that's a quick. Tried to make it short. Still have my business cards with the darts and the kites. Fly like the wind. Yeah.
How long did you keep selling kites and darts?
I did, like I've done in real estate, same thing. I transitioned because, three kids, young kids, married. Chris, Julie, David, my kids grown in their 30s now. There was just a time thing, money and time things. I couldn't just switch because they need to build that income. So I continued doing blind draws, selling darts, selling kites as I got my license and as I started learning how to, you know, be in the real estate game to sell, real estate.
Awesome. What a cool backstory.
But it was all very organic, if you will.
Yeah,
I
it really
didn't say,
was.
I want to sell kites.
Yeah,
I just thought
it just kind of happened.
there's a need
Yeah.
a kite, but there was interest. And then
Yeah.
with the darts and then with real estate. And then real estate started out selling houses. That's hard to do when you have a young family, as you know.
Yeah.
Because the times that the customer needs you are the times you want to be with your family. So weekends, evenings.
Yes.
And with three kids, it just gets a little hectic. So I started transitioning and tried to work with some local builders, some custom guys. Got to know those guys around here very well. Helped them where I could, but then the production guys started coming in the mid '90s, and I just slowly started working with them, and then just focused on that.
Yeah.
And then full commercial real estate, basically hours Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. That's it. You're not getting calls in the middle of the night from, customers wanting to know why their house didn't sell.
Right. It's not as emotional of a business.
Not at all. No. It's great.
Yeah. What are some of the early lessons that you learned in the real estate biz?
I'll tell you. Instinct. Trust your instinct. I remember, so I'm a young guy, 25, 26, something like that, in this office of agents that the average age was much older. And not very much tech. And, I'm in computers. I'm doing all this stuff. So I'm kind of doing new things, trying to make things work and carve my own way. And I remember going to our manager once. I said, idea. And I told him my idea. And he's like, no, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Then a couple weeks later, I thought, they drill it into your head that you're an independent contractor when you're in real estate. So sorry, Jim. I went ahead and did my idea and my plan and my thought, and it worked really well. And I thought, okay, so I'm going to give you a little quick.
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, there's a little real estate thing that I learned. In real estate, if you are in with the big companies, the FC Tuckers, the Keller Williams, and such like that, not like a Greene, more small and boutique, if that's a fair word to use. Yeah. They take you to sales seminars. They make you do sales seminars. Some week-long seminars are very intense, and it's over and over and over again when you're with those big companies. And what my idea was, I told my manager, I said, we go to these, and they all talk about how much money do I want to make. How much money? This is how you make money. You get this many listings, and out of this many listings, you'll 100 listings, and you'll make this much money. And the ones that don't sell, you do. And that was kind of a constant thing over and over. How do you get rich? How do you make money in real estate? I told my manager, I said, not once have I heard a salesperson, training person, tell me how important my customer was. Never once in my sales training did they say, now, here's how you do well. You take care of your customer. No, they didn't do that. Yeah. They said if it isn't selling, tell them they need to reduce the price. And I get it. And that's not necessarily wrong. But the focus was on the sales agent and not the customer.
Right.
So what I did, what I wasn't supposed to do, Speedway, Carlton Street, remember the street, got 3 or 4 listings off that. I'm fairly new. I go in. I knew they were interviewing 3 realtors because that's pretty much what the program was. Always interview 3 realtors.
Uh-huh.
So I went in, and I was the first one in, and I kind of gave them my pitch, and I said, "Look, I know you have 2 more agents that you're going to be interviewing." I said, let me just tell you a little something, what I've learned. Uh, when you go to sales training, they all talk about how you get rich, and they talk about how many listings you need to carry to reach this much income.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a different tactic, and you're probably going to hear that from these other 2 that come in. But I have a different idea on this. I found that I can't manage 100 clients.
Yeah.
I'm just, there were computers, but not like today, where maybe you could get more than you could back then and service them well. But 100? Come on, Heather.
Right.
There's no way I'm taking good care of 100 people, families, in homes.
No.
There's just no way.
Yeah.
So I told him that, and I said, I have a different approach. I have found that I can service well and take good care of about 20 listings at a time.
Mm-hmm.
If I get past that, I find things fall through the cracks, or I'm not doing a good job for my customer. So I just wanted to tell you that that's how I work, because the others probably don't work that way. And they couldn't get, as soon as I finished that sentence, the next thing they said, "Well, how many listings do you have now?"
You tell them 19.
18, because that's what I had at the time. I had 18. And I said, that's why I'm on this listing appointment, because I can take 2 more listings.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, can we sign up? I'm like, no. Again, they don't tell you to ever say no.
That's right.
Ever.
Yeah.
Any sales trainers would tell you, you take that listing and you don't let those others get in the door.
Right.
And I get that. I
Yeah.
do. I get it. But I was trying something new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to build trust and relationship with these people. And they said, well, I mean, gosh, we're sold. Can we do? I'm like, no. You have 2 other agents there. I think, talk to them.
Right.
They may tell you something I didn't. They may trigger something that you go, oh, we like this person better.
Okay.
So just please do that.
Right.
And they were just like, okay. And sure enough, the end of the week, I get a call and I list the property and got 2 more listings on Carlton after that.
Amazing.
So it's a long story. You asked me about what I've learned. I learned trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Follow your gut.
Follow your gut. It's never led me wrong.
There you go. Okay.
I think about
Similar?
that. Yeah,
Same
very
thing?
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are you. You
Mhm.
know what works and what doesn't. If you make a mistake, you learn from it and you move on.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And that's the way to do it, I think. So
It works for me.
I love that. That's a great nugget.
And
Yeah.
I thought it made so much sense.
It does make a lot of
Because
sense.
they don't say anything about how to take care of the customer.
No. And I think that's big with us at
Oh, yeah.
Greene is that we always want to take care of the customer. They come first, you know.
That's what I liked about Amber when I met her to look at the space, actually. Her energy, of course, is
Yes.
strong, very confident. She has good energy. But she really does. She cares about the listings. And that's what I really enjoyed,
Yeah.
getting to know her a little better. And then as I've met some of you and others in your group, I'm almost a family, very close
Yeah.
knit.
Yes. Very
Fun.
much so.
You guys have
Fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to make it fun, right?
Amber's mom is a hoot. Hi, Amber's mom.
Yes.
We love Becky.
Yeah,
Well,
we
you got
do.
to. You got to.
Yeah.
But you guys have been, I don't know if that's a right word to use, more authentic in terms of who you are.
Mhm.
You present yourself very honestly and openly. So I admire
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks. We try. That's for sure. That's always the goal is
Mhm.
to make sure that we're taking care of people
Yes.
at the end of the day.
It's a big thing. You know,
It is a big
whether
thing.
it's selling or buying,
It is. It is.
just take care of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've got to hear how you fell into ownership
Oh,
of the
gosh.
Republican. This is a great story. Jerry's told me off air before, but I thought it would be so great for you to tell our
Okay.
audience because it's a pretty fun story. So
Yeah, let me try and make it concise here. So I'd look for investments. I moved to Danville, 2007, 8, something like that. So I started getting involved. I'm in real estate 20, 30 years by then, 20 years certainly. I know a lot of things. I know a lot of people in town.
mhm.
So what I would do is I would, if property that I saw that I thought was interesting, I'd come in and say, hey, I'm Jerry. If you ever think of selling, let me know. I might be interested.
Right.
And sometimes you never hear her, but when you
Yeah.
do hear someone, it's usually after 2 or 3 years. They're like, "Hey, remember when you stopped in?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that's kind of a thing that I do just to keep tabs on buildings and properties. So, all right. The Republican newspaper been around 179 years. 179 years in this
Long
community, and
time.
we have news from 179 years ago through today. It's a great, great publication. Um, So we've been involved. People I'm involved with here, Rotary Chamber people, real estate people like you.
Mm-hmm.
We know about the Republican and the Wiesner family. Had owned it for about 70 years, and Betty Wiesner was the daughter, and she was the last owner of it. And she health, declined and things
Right.
like that, and then she passed away. And we all in the community felt that. But what we did not know was who ended up with the newspaper,
Yeah.
because Betty's, well, she didn't have kids, so just kind of curious. So I was producing plays for Hendricks Civic Theater, and I thought, go in and put an ad in. So I went in. Betty Bartley, our editor, still there. She's great. I've known Betty for a long time. I'm like, Betty, an ad in. I said, hey, by the way, I said, if the newspaper is ever struggling,
Mm-hmm.
or let me know, because if I can help, I would like to help.
Yeah.
And she says right there, she goes, well, it's funny you said that. The owner in New Zealand would like to sell the building so she can buy a home in New Zealand. I said, oh, that wasn't in any of our thoughts that maybe where the property went. New Zealand. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So she gives me the email. Kimmy Golden, she's from here.
Uh-huh.
Her dad, I think, was a deputy sheriff here, Stephen Golden.
Huh?
And Betty Wiesner had taken her under her wing, helping her out, financially and things through the years, and would work at the newspaper for some money and things like that. So Betty and Kimmy were very close. So I call Kimmy and we make a deal for the building itself, because that's what I'm interested in. I don't have a journalism background. I don't have a newspaper background.
Probably not something that ever crossed your mind. Like, I'm going to own a
Never.
newspaper.
No, never.
No?
Never.
Yeah.
So we talked about the building, and she had mentioned, what about the newspaper? And I said, well, there's a lot of cool stuff in there, and where they're at now, they don't take up much room. I said, I would work with them on some very affordable rents and make sure they stick around. And Kimmy wasn't, she wasn't here. She's in New Zealand, and she's not a newspaper or business person either. So she was like, well, I don't, I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, wow, because the building built by the paper in 1899, it's got all the volumes published over the decades going back to the late 1800s, actually physically in the building.
Mhm.
There's a Linotype, which is a fantastic machine. It's just a Rube Goldberg, crazy cool machine. Then handset type is all there, where they would lay the newspaper out every week right there, and had its own printing press, which isn't there now. So there's all this neat stuff in
Yeah.
history, and I do like history. So I'm like, gosh, Kimmy, I don't know. So over a couple, 3 weeks, we came up with a number. It's like, fine. So I get the newspaper, and Beth Polly was a friend of Kimmy's who had been coming part time to help with the books. And then Betty and Bethel remind me every now and then. She goes, remember when you bought the paper and you said, look, I'm going to leave you alone. You guys just do your thing. You won't even know I'm around, da da da. Yeah, I kind of remember that. So what happened? What happened, quite honestly, is it was 2019 when I bought it, and a couple things were going on in that area time. One was the George Floyd stuff. I mean, that was
Mhm.
big. It was in the news. Everybody was talking about it. It was controversial. It was divisive. It was a big thing going on. All of us remember. And then shortly after that, COVID.
Mm. Yep.
Again, a big thing we're all talking about, a divisive thing, and people like, and I'm seeing it in our own community, right here in Hendricks County.
Mhm.
And I remember my daughter, Julie, she's up in Madison, Wisconsin. She's a mural artist. She's doing great up there. And we're talking, and she goes, Dad, you own a newspaper? I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, kind of. She goes, don't you think you should be saying something? I'm like, I don't say nothing. I don't know. Hey, I don't know, but that nugget stuck in my head. And the more I saw on TV and the more I saw in my community, the more I decided, the more I leaned towards, okay, I do need to say something. And that was the beginning of me starting to write a weekly column. I don't recommend that for anybody. Every week I write a column, publisher's point of view, and it started out quite honestly about what it's like owning a newspaper, because it is fantastic. It's just wide ranging of all the different things between printing your paper to the post office to the news. It's just a very dynamic
Yeah.
thing. Um, so I started writing, and then I didn't know if anybody's really paying attention, so I started to get a little more pointed on my opinion of things, and that's when I started getting people's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got people going, "Thanks for saying that. I didn't want to say that. I don't want to say it.
Mm-hmm.
I own a business. I can't say that."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, okay, this is really important. So every week, and I've gotten more and more involved. I work more at the newspaper than I do real estate. I take zero money out of the paper, and it's growing. I mean, we're not growing like this. It's a newspaper, but boy, we're getting better, more community, more ads. We're growing, and the community's responding, and now people come to me all the time saying, "Hey," basically they want to tell me things, but they don't want to go on record to do it, even though I encourage them. This week's column is me going, all the people that come and tell me what they're disappointed or bothered about or things going on, if I tell them, write a letter to the editor, because there's a lot of other people in this community that feel the same way. Well, no, I own a business. Oh, I can't do it. And more people are coming to me as we speak. It's becoming more coming to me going, oh, this is killing me, things that are going on. And I'm like, right. So in the column today, I said, a lot of people are coming up to me saying they want to say these things. And if just one of you would say something, I think you would find more like-minded people than you realize. It's okay.
Yep.
So the newspaper thing has got me in a whole different arena of life. I feel, quite honestly, more connected to the community than I ever have. I've done so many deals in this community, land development deals
Yeah.
from Plainfield to Brownsburg and Danville. I mean, lots of development deals. Nobody knows me as a real estate guy. I'm the newspaper guy.
You're the newspaper guy now.
And I feel so much, I don't mean anything negative by it, but just personally, I feel so much more connected to the average person in this community because I'm exposed to it more. We're covering stories, we're doing features, we're covering local government. And local government hasn't had any press really covering them for a couple decades, really. It's been a while.
It's
The
been a
Flyer
while.
did a good job.
Yeah.
But before that, there was just a short period there where they were covering everything well. And now I find, some communities aren't as transparent as they should. Nothing nefarious. Nothing
Right.
nefarious at all. I think it's just they're not used to. So, I've had to file some, public records requests. Like, hey, come on, guys.
Yeah.
This is public information. You really need to share it. So they're starting to get used to that now, and they're starting to share more information. Relationships are good and healthy, and I want to keep it that way. And I think politically, local
Right.
politics, I think it's important for the government, local government, to trust us
Yeah.
if they want us to trust them.
I could not agree more there.
So,
Transparency goes a long way,
yeah,
doesn't it?
yeah, and I'll
You
be
know?
honest, when I was on the other side of things, on the developer side, the real estate side, I was right there with those guys going, yeah, you can't let this get out. Well, public will go crazy. Well, now that I'm on the other side, I really do have a different view. I trust us. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, some people are not going to be happy no matter what you do.
Right.
But there's a lot of us. It's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's kind of where the newspaper thing has taken me.
Love that. I love that you're a voice for some people that maybe feel voiceless,
I have no problem with that. I
You
have no
know?
problem with that.
Yeah, I can understand as a business owner
I do.
too. And I know that you do as well because
My
you've
only
owned
point on
businesses
that
for so long.
is you might not lose as much business as you think
You
because a
may.
lot of people are saying to me the same thing you are.
Right. Yeah.
Never once have I ever told any of them, that's dumb. You just
Right.
stand up and you gotta be. No.
Right.
I've been self-employed for 30 some years, so
Yeah, you know the drill.
I do. So I'm not trying to be accusatory or anything. I'm just trying to be honest with.
Sure.
If you don't want to talk about anything that could be controversial, whether it's because of family or your business, you're fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not here to.
You'll be a voice for them, but you encourage them
Yes.
to,
Yes.
if they feel comfortable, hey, speak up.
Speak up. It's
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's okay too. I think we're all a lot more alike than we are different at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
and this
Don't you
is what I
think?
say to people when
Yeah.
it comes to advertising in the newspaper. Advertisers are like, Jerry, what's my ROI on this? How many clicks am I getting? How many? I can't tell you that. I can't tell the age of someone and their hobbies when they read your ad. I don't know. But I say the newspaper is a unique piece of community to where the advertisers in there, the stories in there, are all Hendricks County. We
Yeah.
don't subscribe to services from AP or any of those. It's all Hendricks County. And I contend, whether you live in Plainfield or North Salem, you're pretty much alike. There's not much difference between us.
Mm-hmm.
People don't move to Hendricks County because of our oceans and skiing and mountains. They don't.
Sadly,
There are
no.
2 or 3 reasons they move here. One is I've always lived here. My family's lived here.
Yep.
The schools are fantastic, which they absolutely are. All 6
100%.
school districts are very high rated in this state. So all 6 are very good.
Yes.
Or moving here, my grandkids moved here and I wanted to be closer to my grandkids. So
Mhm.
really, we're not that different here.
Not at all. Yeah.
And I try to use the newspaper, and I still continue to want the newspaper to grow and reflect Hendricks County, not east side of Hendricks County, not the rural areas, Hendricks
As a
County.
whole.
And I
Yeah.
think we lose that, and I think it would be better if we thought more community as a county.
I agree. And I think what you're doing with Republican is really important. I think you guys to watch it grow. I mean, it's been around for what, 179?
179 years. Birthday be May 15th for 179.
Are you guys going to do anything big for that?
Maybe for 180. I don't know. It's just hard to wrap my head around 179 years. I don't know. I think there's 2 churches in the county that have been around longer, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty heady thing to me to think of. When you read our newspaper from the 1840s or 50s, and I've got copies if you want to read them, I can send you electronic. It's fantastic. It's a wall of text and it's intimidating. But once you start reading and you start seeing what's going on in Plainfield and the Quakers that came up, or the square and the horses and the new hitching posts that just came up, and the new courthouse that got built, and you're like, this is talk about feeling connected to a community. You're reading the origin story of Hendricks County
really
bi-weekly, by Thursdays. It's just, I could talk all day.
Oh, it's okay. We love it. So much knowledge. I mean, you've got, a lot of insight into the community and the county as a whole, and it's pretty cool to listen to.
When you're in this county, there's two types of people, if you will. Those who get up and leave the county for work.
Right.
And then there's those of us who get up and we stay here, we work here, and it's not as big a community as you think. It's a great small community. I mean, the county. We see the same people at the chambers. We see the same people at the Rotaries, and it's a great, tight-knit, strong community here.
It really is. It really is.
It is.
Yeah. I just think it's an honor to be able to serve the community that I grew up in. It's really cool.
Yes, it's been fun talking to you about your history here too, and the connections we both have in here, and
yeah,
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I'm here too.
Okay.
Thanks for giving us the opportunity in this beautiful building.
Yeah. You've done a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, speaking of the community, obviously there's been a ton of growth and you've seen it firsthand. What are your thoughts on the growth and where do you think it's heading?
Okay, so being in the land development type of world for a couple decades or so, there's some things you do learn because you work with all the communities and schools and things. And the way the state of Indiana functions financially is property taxes fund all local units of government. Okay,
Right.
there's other edits and local income taxes that come into play. The bulk of things are property taxes.
Right. Yep.
Indiana is one of only two, I don't know what the other state is, but I've been told, that pays property taxes 1 year in arrears.
Yeah.
And
It
you
always
know-
messes people
Yep,
up,
yep.
doesn't it,
Yeah,
Brett?
it's
When you
hard
sit
to
at the closing
explain.
table.
Well, you have to be able to say it the right way simply till they understand. Otherwise, they get really confused.
Amen to that.
So, what happens is in Indiana, schools, towns, probably all local units of government, but my experience more with schools and towns. If you're not, because of the tax caps, okay, the tax caps that we're putting on 09, I think it was 08, 09,
Yeah.
said you can't just go raising taxes. That meant infrastructure for towns, roads, sewers, waters, all those things, sidewalks. There's not enough money to continue without growing to continue to maintain those infrastructure pieces. So unfortunately, schools are the same way. To grow is the only way to stay alive. If you're not growing,
You're dying.
you are really dying,
Mhm.
unfortunately. And that tax cap year in 08 or 09 when it first happened, every town, city in the state of Indiana was on the verge of a bankruptcy because they had all these cost infrastructure needs. So Danville resisted approving a lot of new residential subdivisions. So finally, 2 or 3 people got onto that council and they looked at the reality of the financial situation of the town and they said, we have to grow.
Yeah.
2 things that does. It brings in money. Now you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're going to take that money the taxes are going to generate in those houses and you're going to fix old infrastructure.
Right.
It's how it is, right or wrong, doesn't matter. It's how it is. So when you have all of the houses, if you will, come in, the other thing that happens is you have a workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So in Indiana, property taxes generate 1% of property market value of the property.
Yep.
1% of the market value of the property for residential properties is the tax for residential. If it's apartments or ag businesses, I think it's 2%. And then industrial, retail, commercial properties, the local units of government get 3% of the value of those. Obviously, that's really where you want to be. Danville hadn't had a lot of growth for a long period of time up until 2020, 2021 is when they started approving some new subdivisions. So the council and the town made a decision that they're going to need to grow that population to then afterwards go and attract and look for businesses. And they've done that. They've slowed down. They've let developers know, look, hey, we approved a lot of houses. We need to catch up on our infrastructure and our services and all of that before we approve more.
Right. Right.
And they've been very good at going out and looking for commercial and industrial users. The area by the airport, the Gordon Graham Airport, so the southeast side of town, has an overlay district on it that no residential developments can happen. It's got to be commercial and industrial.
Right.
Town has making moves now to get utilities there, water and sewer. They took water under the tracks a couple years ago down by the Gordon Graham Airport. And now sewer is going to be coming, looks like from WCCD, maybe from the east to cover that.
Okay.
And the marketing has started. The chamber's done a good job. Kelly DiBenedetto's done a good job.
We love Kelly. She's great.
Didn't she? Yes, she's
really
done a
is.
great job. And she continues to work hard at trying to get that 3% industrial tax base. So what I think about the growth is it needed to happen. I know it wasn't easy for the town to make those decisions because the community didn't want to see growth. Understandably, we don't like change. But for the community to survive and be a good community, they had to. And now they are focusing on the real prize, and it is that 3% tax properties there. So I think it's all been necessary.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I agree with if you're not growing, you're dying.
It's just
Mentality, it's just the way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just what.
School's the same way. If you're not growing, your funding comes through the number of kids that you have. Not all of it. You get property taxes, which is affected as well.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it is in Indiana, and that's just how it has to be.
Yeah. What are you most excited about the future of this community? Anything really pop out at you that you're excited
You
to
know what?
see?
Probably there's a lot of things. This county's very diverse. When you take the east side, the growth, the east coast, if you will, of just people and businesses and dynamic energy going on. That's one thing, and I like that energy.
Mhm.
Coming out here, Danville, in the paper, I've gotten to know a lot of businesses and people in the more rural areas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a special thing as well. These are wonderful, warm families that have been here generationally for a long time, and I find them just salt of the earth, really warm, great people here.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
I guess what I'm excited about, which is not going to be easy, it's not easy, is as these two populations, they're very diverse in their nature. Okay, so on the
Yeah.
east side, you've got a lot of new people that come in, not generational families. You've got different cultures, religions coming in as well. I think Avon High School, shout out to them. What a great school. Over 110 languages of origin
Yes.
out of that. And I've worked with Avon a lot. I just so dynamic there. Um, and their cultures, and I excited for us to be mingling. How's that?
Yeah.
As Danville being the center in
Yeah.
our farmers market and all the events we have on the square, which I've seen you participate in. That's
Yeah.
good because it's good stuff.
Stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
It brings community.
It
Like
does. It's a
no
really
other. This town really brings community. It's got a great square. It's got a great fairgrounds, and it's in the middle.
it is.
And I like the sharing of the cultures and the sharing. And I know there's trepidation on both sides to some degree. But what I try to do with the newspaper is try to make it clear to everybody, hey, we're all more alike than we are different.
Amen.
And
That's
let's
right.
celebrate that.
Huh.
And I'm excited about that for this community because it's a unique situation. You have such a diverse population on the east side and such a stayed population here that has been strong, deep roots that
Yeah,
it
they've been around
really
since
is
the
cool.
1800s or
Yes,
before.
it
Yeah.
is really neat to get to know some of those families. So I see the good in all of it, and I'm excited that things kind of blend together and people work together. And
I'm loving to see that too. I mean, I grew up in Danville and it was there wasn't a lot of diversity
no,
in, the
it wouldn't
80s
be
when I
where
was
it was
growing up.
located in the
Right.
time of frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
not at all. And so it's neat to see that there's more diversity now and
it
that people
is.
are learning, like you said, about these other cultures and
Well,
and about, just different ways of doing life.
this as a realtor, regardless of what culture you're from, regardless of any of your religious or any, when you're buying a home,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big thing.
It's a huge thing.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you're helping them no matter,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? We're all the same. They all have the same trepidations on buying a home or scare, worry about the risk, and it's your job to make them feel comfortable with their decision to help guide them.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big time in people's lives.
It
And
is a big time,
most of the
regardless of who you are or where you're from. It's
That's right.
important that you treat them well and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. Going right back to the customer service aspect. Did you mean to do that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sherry.
No.
No, I love that. But it really
It's a core of
it
how I
really
feel.
is. Yeah. I love that. I love that. All right, we're gonna do some quick round questions for you. Are you ready for this?
We'll see.
Okay. So what is your favorite local business or restaurant? It's like
Oh,
trouble.
No. It changes.
Okay.
I
What are you feeling right now?
uh,
Or lately in the last month or two?
well, again, it changes. Depends on where I'm at. Now, I'm in Danville a lot, obviously, because of the newspaper and this is where I live. So,
Yeah.
seriously, they're all on rotation. Mayberry, uh, golly, Frank's Place.
Yep.
Eat there plenty. Dips, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Like dips. Two Guys Pies, bread baskets. Uh, what's Betsy's? Beehives.
Beehive.
Great place. Asia Walk. Love Asia Walk. I mean, I know I'm missing. I apologize.
I feel like he's naming all of them, though. I feel like you're hitting.
Well, because there's not that many.
Yeah.
And just kind of, that's why I say I don't necessarily have a favorite all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fair. I
Mhm.
like a lot of different ones too. I try to hit them all up as
That's
I
the other
can.
thing. I try to support local whenever I can, and
Yes.
I typically avoid chains and stuff.
Same here. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
these people work hard.
they do.
Some of
I'm
these
excited about the new restaurant.
20 West Steakhouse. Yep, that's going
Yeah,
to be very cool. It's going to be great.
it does. I interviewed Stephanie Yant
Yeah.
last week for my TV show, and we were kind of talking about it behind the scenes and stuff
Good.
like that. So, yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna
they're a
be
neat
good.
family, and that's going to be a really nice addition to
It
Danville, don't you
is.
think?
It is, and it will draw, I think, from quite a wide area.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so. I think so. All right. So, best advice for someone who wants to get into, let's say, the commercial real estate space. What's your best advice?
Best advice, first of all. So usually you come. All right. Commercial real estate agents I've seen kind of come from a couple different things. It's either through like a Kelly School of Business,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
coming through there, being trained at very high levels and very in depth of commercial real estate, or a residential realtor, like myself who transitioned in.
Right.
It's rare you see someone get their license and say, "I'm gonna be a commercial broker."
Yeah. Usually they go residential first, I
And,
feel
and,
like.
and quite honestly, that has to be the path because in commercial brokerage, they're not really there to train you to the detail and depth that a residential broker will. A good residential broker will train you well on the law, number one, the law,
The law. Yep.
and then train you on sales. And as you know, residential brokerage is fairly highly regulated in terms of the government and FHA, HUD, fair housing, and all of that. You got to be
Mhm.
very careful to follow all of those rules.
Yeah.
And if you don't know those, you're going to get in trouble, which can cost you your license or more.
That's right.
In commercial, you don't quite have that as much because you're not dealing with FHA and HUD and all of that. It's a little more um, uh, professional, I guess. I'm not sure what the word uses. But my big so many residential agents that I worked with would say, "Oh, commercial scares me. Commercial scares me." That, if anything, I would say, stop that.
Mhm.
Don't let commercial scare you. In many ways, there's advantages in terms of time control. It's
Mhm.
basically a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday thing.
Right.
A lot of your commercial clients will have their own accountants, their own lawyers, so you're not being a lawyer or an accountant when you're advising. And you have to be careful of that, as you know. You can't
Right.
be giving those kind of,
Yeah.
but you don't find yourself in that so much in the commercial world. So advice is obviously be very professional. Don't be scared. And don't, if you're new, don't be afraid to say you don't know. If you're filling out a lease and you've never filled out a commercial lease before, there's going to be things in there that you've never seen.
Yes.
So
It's a different world
ask,
than
call me.
residential.
No, many residential agents will call me, and I'm
Yeah.
always happy to help.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, there's so much going on in this county that I'd suggest more people try getting into the commercial side. There's a lot of business out there.
Yeah.
That's one of the questions I had when you were talking about it earlier on was, would you say, since you've done both, that the commercial is easier? Or did you prefer one over the other?
Brett, here's what I tell: get in trouble. It's okay.
Yeah, you won't
Here.
get in trouble here.
I have told commercial real estate agents they couldn't last a month in the residential world.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's obviously being a little silly because certainly there's plenty of competent people that could, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard in a different way than commercial.
Right.
Mhm.
The emotions, the why hasn't my house sold, inspections, a word from a buyer or a seller overheard by the other buyer or seller
yeah.
can kill a deal.
Mhm.
How you counter on a house or a purchase agreement can feel insulting to
Right.
the other party.
Right.
And it's like, you have to manage those. You have to be kind of a psychologist in a way to help people get through these things they get upset about, and it's real emotions.
Absolutely.
When you sell a house, when you list a house, you're telling the people that live there, okay, you got to live like you don't live here.
Yeah.
I always tell them the way you live in your house, the way you sell it are two different things.
Completely different things. Yet they have to live there.
But you have to live there while
While
you're
you're-
selling it.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you got kids in a dynamic, active family, that's just not easy.
No.
So
No.
honestly, I have a lot of respect for you guys. I think you earn every dollar.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'll defend that all day long. You earn it. You deserve it. As long as you're taking care of your clients.
Yeah.
You
That's true.
do it the right way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you deserve your commissions.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't know about you, but I've only done one or two commercial deals myself. And now every time I felt like, yeah, that was easier than residential. But the thought of if you were like, hey, Brett, tomorrow you just need to do nothing but commercial, that would be daunting because.
I
Right.
get that. I think what the big scare is, I don't want to mess something up and cause a lawsuit.
Right.
Or,
It's a big deal.
cause a
Yeah.
damage, because damages of a business or a big entity can be way more significant than a house.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's
always
a
been my
trade-off.
biggest
you don't want to mess
scare.
up.
I don't want to mess that up.
Uh-huh.
I've done a handful of them over the 12 years I've been licensed,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
here lately I'll refer them to people. Like,
Yeah.
here you go. But
And that works
I've
too.
always thought about dipping my toe into the,
Yeah.
that space.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Either one of you, I think, would be fine. It's
Yeah.
you know what you know, what you don't know. You have resources, me, an
You
attorney, or
learn.
something that you can
Yeah.
call and say, "Hey, I'm learning this," and
Yeah.
it's not long before you get the hang of it,
Right. Yeah.
and then relationships, and that again goes to this community. 180,000 people here, but quite honestly, it's a small community. Once you're kind of known as doing commercial real estate work, it doesn't take long for people to know and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
get rolling.
Yeah. Word travels fast,
It
wouldn't you
does.
say?
Yes, it does.
Sure does. All right. So, one thing that people might be surprised to learn about you, Jerry.
Oh gosh.
Not going to put you on the spot or anything, right?
What would that even be? I'm a fairly open book about things. One would be that I was shy and scared to death to talk to people.
Yeah.
That
That was a real thing. I would have not pegged you as that.
two things on that. Very shy. So in training and residential, you had to come in and do cold calls. You had to make cold calls and,
Oh, yeah.
and all of that. And call, I don't know if you ever remember, anybody remembers the Crisscross book. It was a backwards phone book. You find the street that you thought had some nice priced homes that would sell, and you just find the street, and then that Crisscross tells you who lives there and what their phone number is.
Yeah.
Did you know those? Okay.
I've heard of them,
Oh, yeah,
but it
yeah.
wasn't.
To me, I was like, really kind of like, this is cool. I can tell who lives on what street.
Uh-huh.
So I would get those lists out, but I wouldn't make a call. We'd have nights we have to call FSBA, for sale by owners. Those scared me the most. There's no way I was going to call them. Expireds, again, why would I call expired? They already didn't sell. They're not going to like me. I was just so scared. They would have you go in neighborhoods and farm the
Oh, yeah.
neighborhoods, and they print the postcards up and everything for you. All you had to do was get out of your car and knock on doors. Wasn't doing that.
Mm-mm.
I'd pull up in the neighborhood and I'd sit there and I'd be like, oh, I'm scared.
Yeah, it is scary.
So after having not a lot of income doing that and having our third kid, this true story sounds silly, but I went into the neighborhood and I literally pulled out a picture of my wife and three kids and I put it on right in front of the speedometer, and I'm like, I have to do this.
Uh-huh.
I didn't. I left. I got in the car. I went back to the office, and it happened to be a cold calling night. So I'm like, fine. Why am I here? I don't know. I'm not doing this, but I thought, sorry, I got to do this. I got to do this. So I thought, you know what? Give me a for sale button. Let's just get
Let's
this
just
over
do it.
with. Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yep.
Now, I remember I've been going through training and through seminars and all of these things and learning all the things they tell you about how listings and how to remove objections. That's what sales is how to remove objections.
Yep.
So for sale by owner, I'd been trained, but again, I was scared. I called the guy up. Guy answered. He said, hey, it was a spiel. I'm Jerry Vaughan, Graves Realtors. Would you like to talk about listing your house with an agent? And he started giving me reasons why he would not do that. Obviously, he's a for sale by owner. And the first reason he gave me, I thought, oh, I have an answer for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, but you might make more money. And he's like, well, tell me how that went. I'm like, oh, I can answer that.
Yeah.
So I answered that. And then he gave me a couple more objections. And I'm like, oh, I know those. So I
Yeah.
started doing it. Before you know, I didn't get the listing, but we had a nice call. It wasn't combative. It was a nice call. And I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
let's do this one. Another one wasn't a for sale by owner, cold call. Have you ever thought about selling your home now or in the near future? Da 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 da. And it was easy. And before you know it, I'm just calling people. I see a sign, I'm calling them. I for sale by owner, I'm calling them.
Yeah.
And it changed everything. It changed everything. I was scared of myself. I was scared that I was going to mess up. You know what? Mess up.
Mess up.
There's advice. Mess up. You
Mhm.
got to learn your spiel. You got to learn the important things. You got to learn how to be confident in talking. So mess up. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's how you learn.
And that's what.
Right?
And then fear of speaking in public in general, like a lot of people. I dodged that for years and years. Nope, can't do it. Nope, won't. Nope, sick, can't do it. Whatever. I'd lie. I'll be honest with you. I was
Yeah.
so scared to get sick to my stomach if I thought I had to speak in front of a bunch of people, and I
Mhm.
knew that wasn't going to work. So I slowly started. Might have been Danville, Kiwanis at the time. There was probably
Mhm.
8-10 people there. So I gave a spiel on real estate in Danville. Then I did it for the chamber. Then the audiences get a little bigger. And again, here's what I learned: be yourself. Be yourself. It's so easy. I'm here worried about how
Mhm.
I'm looking and presenting and if I'm saying something dumb or what's my voice sound like or are they liking me? Are they acknowledging what am I losing them? All of that is in your head.
Yeah.
Lose it. Lose it.
I love that
Hey,
advice.
I'm Jerry. How's everybody doing?
Yeah.
Let's talk real estate or newspaper. I don't care. I can talk.
Love that,
And
Jerry.
then I don't prepare. You want me to talk? I'll talk. Want me to talk at Rotary or Plain, whatever.
Yeah.
Kiwanis, Optimist.
But
I'm
you're just
happy
being
to.
yourself. You face your fears and you get out of your own head, which is for me is the scariest place to be sometimes.
Exactly.
You guys, but
No, right. Get
I
out
can.
of your head.
Yeah. It's great advice. I love that.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. You have to push yourself.
You do.
Yeah. My mom, actually, we were during Christmas this year. She was like, my aunt was in town.
Mhm.
And she was like, I just never thought Heather would ever do anything like all this because I
Really?
was shy too.
You were?
I was.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've just had to push myself.
You do.
Like, oh, you can do this.
And then you start having fun.
Then you do start having fun. You're like, kind of fun,
It's
actually.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I never thought I would ever do a podcast or host a TV show or get on video or anything.
No kidding. I hear you.
Oh,
And now
no.
here you are.
And now, yeah.
And
So
it's fun.
it is fun. And you really meet a lot of cool people that
You
way
do.
and expand your horizons. So
Yeah. It's all good.
I love that idea. Oh, yeah, the whole advice,
Yeah.
Jerry, was spot on, I think. So,
It's fun.
well, that's the extent of my questions. Do we
Okay.
have any? Okay. Do you have a way that our listeners can? I want to definitely plug a shameless plug for the
Yeah, I
Republican.
definitely want to do that myself.
Can you do that?
Yeah, a couple of things I want to tell you. It's a weekly newspaper. It comes out, and if you live in Hendricks County, the post office will bring it to your mailbox every Thursday. Currently, our rates are $50 for a year, so that's 52 weeks for $50, less than $1 a week. And like I tell anybody, if you get that paper and you look at it and you don't think there's $1 worth of content or information in there, I'll refund your subscription. I've not had to do that yet, but I'm telling you, if you don't think it's worth $1, I'll refund you.
I think it's definitely worth at
Oh,
least
it is.
$2.
I got a bit. Well, because of printing costs and everything, we do look at raising rates,
Oh,
but I
sure.
don't want to raise my subscription rates. And I'll tell you why. It's because there's a lot of people on fixed incomes. Everything's getting more expensive. If I do raise them, it's going to be nominal. I'm not going to raise much. A lot of newspapers tell me I need to be 100, 150 a year. I'm just not doing that because I really feel like the businesses in this community can help support this paper, this newspaper. So advertising is where I feel is important to support the community to get this paper out and keep it affordable. Um, Obituaries. Any of you have had to deal with obituaries? Call the Indy Star, and you'll see an astronomical price for putting an obituary in.
Yeah.
Ours are free. Ours are free. Every
Mhm.
newspaper guy that talks to me says you have to charge for those. I'm like, no, I'm not. Our editor Betty told me one time early on. She goes, Jerry, we don't put the obituaries in the paper because people died. Okay, she says we do it because they lived. They are the community.
Aw, I love that.
This is the first time some people will get to know these people and see who they were in their family and community. And man, that
Yeah.
sold me. So, guys, I want to keep obituaries free, and let's talk about advertising, and I can talk about how we can make it work
Right.
and make it affordable. And
Yeah.
so that's the shameless plug for the Republican. It's a great newspaper. It's politically independent. It was called the Republican when the Republican Party was formed in 1854, I think it was, in Wisconsin. It hasn't been a political mouthpiece since 1931. So please don't view us as a political party. We're just a good community newspaper with contributors from all over the county.
Yeah, it's a great piece
great-
of literature to read every week. I love
Yes.
getting it. I'm always
There's
like,
a lot.
there's a ton in
got a
it.
big complaint last week. Guy came up to me and says, "I have a problem with your newspaper."
Oh no.
Okay, I said, "Well, that's fine." He said, "It's just too big for me to sit down and read in one sitting anymore." I said, "Okay, then, all right, we can live with that."
Yeah.
We have a guy who talks about AI stuff. He was at the highest levels of AI at Lilly. He's retired now. He weekly column about artificial intelligence. We have a crypto crime cyber guy who deals and works with NSA, FBI.
Wow.
He writes once a month. It's kind of scary, but it's good stuff. We have Coletta that does the gardening, Master Gardener.
Yep.
I can go on and on. Great contributors, community contributors.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great paper. So
Thank you.
I'd recommend it to anybody.
Thank you.
Yep. My in-laws moved out to the lake. And they get it.
Do they?
Still. Oh yeah.
All right.
They can't live without the Republican. They love
Okay,
it.
see,
So
I hear that a lot.
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So
Thank you for letting me.
well, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we appreciate you joining us today
It's fun.
and
It's
yeah,
fun.
chatting with us. It was awesome.
Told you I can ramble.
I know, but I love it.
Okay.
So we
Yeah, silence.
We're a
right,
rambling man, Jerry,
That's
and
right.
that's great. So
Move.
and also thank you for everything you do for our community. You know that?
Yeah.
Like you're an
Appreciate that.
intricate part of I think the Hendricks County community as a whole, and especially here in Danville, and it's really cool to see.
It's
and
important.
it's very important.
And
So
it's all okay. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? That's
absolutely. So we just appreciate you spending a little time with us today and
you bet.
sharing these really cool stories of
Yeah,
How-
it was fun.
of your life, because that's always cool. So yeah.
I'm excited to have you guys in Danville.
Well, we're excited to be here.
So
It's been so awesome and welcoming, and everybody's great. Of course, I knew it would be,
yeah.
but we love it here.
Well, I
So-
hope you grow your agents and sell lots of homes. And if you get into
yeah.
commercial,
Well, then I'll be
call
calling
me.
you. You'd be my first call for sure. So, well, thanks again, and
Okay.
thanks everybody for watching. And we'll see you next Thursday at 1 on the Green Room.
All right.
Bye bye.